Hey, hello, welcome back to channel. In this video we're going to see about chemical equation. Okay, so what is a chemical equation and how can we write it in different ways? So all these things will be discussed in this video. Now the first thing is we're going to see about chemical reaction. Okay, so generally we tend to get confused with chemical equation and reaction. So first we'll try to understand what is a chemical reaction, and then we'll move on to chemical equation. So a chemical reaction is a process that leads to the chemical transformation of one set of chemical substances to another set. Okay, so in a very simplified way to tell, it's a kind of process by which the composition and properties of the original substance change. Okay, that means what is that substance actually? It's nothing but the chemicals. Okay, there is some changes happening to the chemicals resulting in the formation of a new substance. Okay, or new chemicals, new substance or new chemical. Okay, so what is happening exactly? There are some changes happening within the atoms and molecules of a particular substance, okay, which we are calling it as chemical reaction. Okay, when we are taking an example, you'll understand it clearly. So for example, digestion, respiration, photosynthesis, all these are chemical reactions happening in the nature. Right, now in this case what is happening? There are different set of chemicals and there are some changes happening within the chemicals, and we are getting some new substances out of it. Okay, that we are calling it as chemical reaction. Moving on to chemical equation, it is a symbolic representation of chemical reaction in the form of symbols and formulae. Okay, you have got a chemical reaction and I need to represent this chemical reaction in different ways. That representation of a chemical reaction, we are calling it as chemical equation. Okay, so how can I represent? I can represent using words and I can represent using different formulae. Okay, now first let us try to understand the word equation. So I have taken photosynthesis, okay, which is a chemical reaction. Carbon dioxide plus water in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll, we are getting glucose plus oxygen. So what I have done here, photosynthesis is a chemical reaction and I have represented this reaction in an equation form, okay, using the names of the chemicals present. Okay, I have just used the names of the different chemicals present here. Okay, carbon dioxide, water, glucose and oxygen. So I have used some words here, so this is called as word equation. Very simple. Now moving on to the equation represented with formulae. Okay, so in this case I have got a word equation but I need to use formulae for it. So for carbon dioxide has got a formula, CO2 plus water, H2O, glucose, C6H12O6 plus oxygen, O2. So these are the different formulae for the different chemical compounds in the photosynthesis reaction. Okay, so this we are calling it as equation represented with formulae. Okay, now when you are writing an equation, okay, it can be word equation or equation with formulae. There are a few steps to be followed. Okay, so generally the substances that undergo a change, okay, these are the substances which are undergoing a change in a chemical reaction, so these are called as reactants. Okay, these are called as reactants. Okay, and the substances that are formed as a result of the reaction, so these are the substances that has been formed, okay, as a result of some reaction happened. Okay, so the substances which has been newly formed are called as products. Okay, so always we'll be writing reactants on the left hand side and products towards the right hand side. Okay, and then now reactants will be giving products. So how they have been separated? Using an arrow mark. Okay, this is a simple step to be followed when you are writing a chemical reaction. So if I am writing a chemical reaction on rusting of iron, so rusting of iron is a chemical change actually. So there are some changes happening in the chemicals. So Fe uh, plus O2 arrow mark rust. Okay, so if I need to write the formula, Fe2O3 H2O. Okay, so now these two are reactants, which I am writing it on the left side, and this will be the product, which I am writing it on the right hand side. Okay, and I have divided this, separated this using an arrow mark. So this is the way how to write a chemical equation. So wherever you're writing a chemical equation, reactants towards the left hand side, products towards the right hand side, and divided by an arrow mark. Okay, now these are the challenges for you all. There are totally around 4 questions. You can just go through this and you can post your answers in the comment section below. So finally, thank you all. Have a great day.